Hello everyone, I am Adulam Jeyasothy. I am a PhD student and I present you our paper, Achieving Diversity in Counterfactual Explanations, a review and discussion. This paper was written with Thibault Laugel, Marie-Jeanne Lesot, Christophe Marsala, and Marcin Detyniecki. In this paper, we present several contributions. The main contribution is the proposal of a survey of different methods which generate diverse counterfactual explanations. We propose to characterize these methods according to different criteria, in particular the type of diversity they consider. The second contribution is a discussion about the motivation for proposing several explanations to the user. Then we propose also a discussion on the difficulty of choosing an aggregation function to combine several criteria to give only one explanation to the user. So in this presentation, I will focus on the discussion part and I invite you to read the survey in our paper. So our paper is in XAI domain and it's a very big domain. There is a lot of different type of explanation associated to this domain. We propose to study one particular type, which is counterfactual explanation. So first, what is counterfactual explanation? Counterfactual explanation is all the modifications the user has to do to have another prediction. So this type of explanation is defined as all the instances in another class. Most often, approach which generate counterfactual explanations try to minimize a cost function, which will represent the quality criterion of an explanation. So the final explanation is the difference between an instance in another class E and the studied instance X. So this difference is representing the modifications the user has to do. So there is a lot of different methods which propose counterfactual explanations, and they propose also to define the quality criterion in different ways. Some of them are only considering the studied instance and the final explanation. Others are considering also an information about the data. And finally, some of them are considering some information about the user knowledge. So there is lots of different ways to define the quality criteria. A big question is which quality criteria we have to choose to propose the best explanation to the user. Most approaches propose to aggregate these different criteria into one to generate just a single explanation to the user. But this will be a problem, and I will explain you in this presentation why this is a problem. So the combination of different criteria is very difficult for two reasons. The first reason is that the explanation is rarely optimizing all the criteria that we consider, because sometimes we consider criteria which can't be optimized in the same time. So finally, the explanation is not fulfilling all the objectives. The second reason is that choosing an aggregation operator to combine the criteria is not an easy task, because the choice of this operator has a big impact on the final explanation. For example, here we have the dataset of Halfmoon dataset, and for a particular instance in green here, which is predicted in blue, we propose different counterfactual explanations. Each counterfactual explanation is associated to an aggregation operator. That means for 5 different aggregation operators, we obtain 5 different counterfactuals. So that shows how much the choice of the aggregation operator has an impact on the final decision. This is why it's too risky and too hard to choose one explanation from them to give to the user, because this explanation can be not adapted. One solution to this problem is to propose not one explanation to the user, but several explanations. And this principle is also defended by different papers, in particular in teaching concept. because they say that proposing several explanations to the user increase the understanding of the explanation. And also, we want to give an explanation which is good in any cases. That means for different type of user, different context, and different needs. But giving one single explanation which satisfies all these constraints is very difficult. So proposing several explanations can help to satisfy different type of constraints and also let the user choose which one is the best for him. So the final explanation is not just one counterfactual example, but a set of counterfactual examples. And this set of examples has to be diverse because it will be interesting to have different information from each counterfactual example. So the new question is how we can define the diversity between counterfactual examples. So we propose a typology of diversity based on different methods of the state of the art, and we propose three families of diversity. First, diversity in criteria. That means explanations are associated to different criteria. So we can have this explanation by doing different trade-offs between criteria or by minimizing each criterion independently. Then there is diversity in the feature space. So explanations are in different zones of the space. So we can have this by adding new diversity criteria or by solving different optimization problems. And finally, there is diversity in actions. So the end is to do some different type of modifications. So modification on different feature or modification in different direction. So finally, in our paper, we propose a survey which regroup different methods of the state of the art that generate diverse counterfactual explanations. So here we have 33 approaches, and we propose to compare these methods according to different axes. So for example, here we have an extract of our survey. We have the different methods. First, we consider the type of diversity that I present you just before, and the diversity criterion, which is an algorithmic point of view of how the methods integrate the diversity then into their algorithm. And finally, there is two other characteristics. So to conclude, we see how much the aggregation of numerous criteria to generate a single explanation is not an easy task. It's very difficult because finally we can have an explanation which is not adapted to the user. So one solution to this problem is to propose not one explanation, but several explanations. We see that in the state of the art, there is already lots of methods which study this question, and we propose to regroup the different definition of the diversity in a typology where we present three families of diversity. Finally, we present a survey which regroup 33 approaches which generate diverse counterfactual explanation. For our future works, it will be interesting to do some experimental study. In this way, we can know which diversity is preferred by the user, and also study diversity beyond counterfactual explanation for other type of explanation. Thank you very much for your attention.